Hey guys, it's Shan Crawford, Life Transformation Coach, and today I want to talk about thriving despite anxiety. So, if you saw my video previous to this one, we were talking about thriving with depression. But today we're going to talk about thriving despite anxiety because it's a little bit different. There are some of the same elements, but dealing with anxiety is definitely a different monster than dealing with depression is, and it's something that I can relate to because I've experienced this myself. And there's a video I did not too long ago where I explained some of the experiences that I've had, including like going to a networking event and sitting in the car crying and having to like pump myself up before going in there because I had extreme anxiety about that at that time, and having to kind of work through that in order for me to get to a place where it didn't scare me to go to a networking event and that I didn't have anxiety around that anymore. Now, there's still things that I would be afraid of or have fears about on a different level, but I conquer my anxiety by knowing exactly what's going on, what it is, and defeating it because I know what's going on. And that it isn't a real fear. It's something that is new to me, I'm not comfortable with, and that if I allow myself to face those fears and to get comfortable with, that the anxiety will go away. Now, I know that not every person has anxiety in that way and deals with anxiety about things like that. I know that people have anxiety about different kinds of fears. But regardless of what you have anxiety about, the bottom line is still that it is a threat to you that can be conquered however you see fit, if you allow yourself to do that. And for a lot of people, anxiety can be conquered by knowing that this is something that you feel anxious or nervous about because you fear the unknown, you fear what's uncertain, you fear what will happen. And sometimes what will happen or may happen is something that's scary or embarrassing or you would be ashamed of happening. But there have been things that you've gotten through before that have been shameful or embarrassing or scary, and you were able to get over that. And the better you are at recognizing that and applying that, the better you are at overcoming your anxiety. Now, I won't discount that there are some people that will need professional help in order for them to get past some of the things that they're anxious about, and that there are some people that have anxiety triggers that need professional help in order to get past. Sometimes those things come from PTSD, even from traumatic events. And some things need the assistance of medication because we don't know where the anxiety is coming from. Sometimes you have to dig really deep in order for you to understand what is triggering your anxiety. But for some of us, we have responses that are anxiety written, and we can ground ourselves. And this is for those people that it's possible for them to ground themselves and to face their fears and to work through, do the inner work, build self-confidence, self-esteem, so that the things that they fear do not cause them so much anxiety, or that they are able to expose themselves to the things that they fear, so that the anxiety goes away with time. And I can tell you right now that if you would have asked me 5 years ago that I would be able to do the things that I'm doing today, being in front of an audience, speaking to people on the phone, when I have clients, helping them, I would tell you that I don't see how that's possible for me. But I worked through those things going to therapy. I also did the inner work by understanding my self-worth and increasing my self-esteem and my self-confidence so that I don't feel so afraid of what's going to happen if I were to fail or if something embarrassing or scary happens. Now, not to say that I never feel these things, but I know that knowing these things about anxiety helps me to thrive despite the fears that come along with anxiety and despite the times where I really want to stop. And there have been times where I have stopped myself or prevented myself from doing something because I have so much anxiety around it. But I keep trying until I conquer it. And it's possible for you to do that as well if you know better, if that makes sense. Like they say, when you know better, you do better. And knowing that anxiety is a manifestation of your fears, which they like to say fears are fake something appearing real. Fake experiences appearing real, or fake emotions appearing real, which I like to agree with that analogy because that is what a lot of fear is, and that's what a lot of anxiety is, fake emotion appearing real. And when we ground ourselves and remind ourselves and tell our brains that and tell our body that, there's a lot of things that we can conquer despite anxiety, even though it feels like we can't before we remind ourselves of those things. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today, in case you're one of those people who deal with mild to moderate anxiety, and it's something that you may be able to conquer on your own. And I would also advise you to look up like YouTube videos, free YouTube videos about how to conquer anxiety, how to ground yourself, how to bring yourself back to reality, and start practicing that in situations where you're feeling anxious. In situations where you feel anxious. I just talked to someone last week, and 2 weeks prior she was telling me that she wakes up feeling anxious, and 2 weeks later she was able to ground herself and bring herself back down after severe anxiety, after being given medications to help with the anxiety. She stopped taking her medications, which I would not advise to do without the doctor telling you to do it. And it was able to calm herself and bring herself back down from her anxiety and get through the day and get through the things that used to make her so anxious on her own in 2 weeks' time. So if she's capable of doing that, I'm sure there's so many of you out there that are capable of doing that as well. You just don't know that you can. So that's what the video is about today. Hopefully you found something valuable within that. And thank you for your time, and thanks for watching. And if you would like to book a free life coaching session with me, you can book a session at shan@beautyofgrowth.com by email. Shan like Jackie Chan, CHAN @beautyofgrowth.com. Or I will put the booking link somewhere around this video so you can have easy access to it. And if I don't see you on my calendar, maybe I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.